Hi, welcome to our Tech Tuesday on using ThingLink to improve learning, a simple and interactive tool for adult educators. My name is Vanessa Alvarez, and I'm an instructional resource with Collier Adult Education, working primarily with online and IET programs. And I'm thrilled to be here to share strategies and tools that can help enhance engagement in adult education. Feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat by letting us know where you're joining from today. Just try to make it a little more interactive. Again, my name is Vanessa Alvarez, and I'm an instructional resource for Collier Adult Education. I work with both our online classes and our IET programs, and I work with both teachers and students on how to effectively use instructional technology. I've also included my email so that if you want to know more about anything that you see today, you're welcome to email me. And I'll also put my email in the chat right now, and again at the end of the webinar, in case you would like to follow up with any questions. Welcome, everyone. So before we begin, please remember to use the Q&A for questions as all attendees' microphones will be muted and they'll be in listen-only mode. We know there will be questions along the way, so please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A and I'll try to check them as we go along. Finally, today's presentation is being recorded and will be available on the IPDAY website within 48 hours for you to reference in the future. So today we're diving into an online teaching tool called ThingLink, which can help us engage our adult learners and make our lessons interactive. Here's a quick overview of what we're going to be covering in the session today. I'll start by explaining what ThingLink is and give you a sense of how it works as an interactive learning tool. Next, we'll explore why ThingLink is particularly useful for adult education and how it can make learning more engaging, visual, and accessible. I'll then walk you through the different plan options and key features of ThingLink so you know what's available to you and how you can make the most of it. And then to make it more concrete, I'm going to share some examples of ThingLink activities and lessons, some of which are specifically geared toward adult education. And this will help give you ideas for how you can use ThingLink in your own lessons. And then finally, I'll wrap up with some tips for getting started on ThingLink. So hopefully by the end of this webinar, you'll feel ready to use ThingLink to make your lessons more interactive, visually engaging, and meaningful for your students. Let's get started. So let's start with an overview of ThingLink. It's an interactive media tool that allows you to take regular images, videos, and even 360-degree media and make them come alive with what we call clickable hotspots. Each hotspot can contain different types of media, like text descriptions, audio explanations, embedded videos, external links, and much more. So, for example, you can kind of see here in this picture, we have an image of an office scene. With ThingLink, I can add hotspots over various parts of the image, each one providing additional information or prompting an activity. So these little circles here with pluses, these are hotspots. So it's an easy way to help learners explore and understand material at their own pace. So this office scene is how our English language learners can practice applying for an interview or a job. Later in the webinar, I will show you how I set this one up in ThingLink. So we're going to get more into what the website looks like as well. As well as how I used a variety of hotspots to help students learn more about the job application and interview process. But for now, you have an idea of what a ThingLink looks like and what the hotspots look like. The student has choice and flexibility in completing the lesson, and they're able to interact with the content in multiple ways. So now let's take a look at some of the key benefits of using ThingLink specifically in adult education programs. One of the main advantages of ThingLink is its ability to boost student engagement by allowing students to explore content at their own pace in a visually engaging and interactive format. We give them more control over their learning. So this is kind of a self-paced approach that helps make learning feel more personal and relevant. It's also great for contextualized learning. Teachers can design content that aligns with real-world applications, which is particularly useful for career and technical education. So, for example, you can create a virtual tour of a workplace or a step-by-step guide to a specific job task. So, this helps adult learners see the direct connection between what they're learning and their career goals. ThingLink supports various learning styles through its use of images, text, video, and audio. So, this multimodal approach is ideal for adult learners who might benefit from more visual or auditory learning resources. So, by combining these different modes, we can make learning more accessible to everyone. Finally, ThingLink is useful for differentiating instruction. It allows us to scaffold content by adding layers of information, which means we can provide simpler explanations or additional resources to support students at different levels. This adaptability makes ThingLink a powerful tool for meeting the different needs of adult learners, ensuring that everyone can engage with material at a level that suits them. So let's go over what's included in the free plan for ThingLink, and then I'm going to show you some of the paid plans. This will give you a sense of what you can do without a paid subscription and where the limitations might be. So with the free plan, you can create interactive images, videos, and even 360-degree content. So this means that you're going to be able to add hotspots, just like I showed you, to different media types to make lessons more engaging. However, the storage space available on the free plan is limited, so you might need to be selective with what you upload. ThingLink's free plan also provides access to a small library of interactive icons, which are our hotspots. You can use these icons to embed text, links, and media, which I'll be showing you later in the presentation. While the library is more extensive on paid plans, the icons available on the free plan is also versatile enough for most basic projects. Basic collaboration means that you can share your projects with students by providing them with a link, making it easy for them to access your interactive lessons online. However, the free plan doesn't support more advanced collaboration, such as like team editing. And then, of course, there's going to be a limited number of projects. With the free plan, there's a cap on the number of projects that you can create. This threshold is helpful for creating a few sample lessons or testing out the tool, but it may not be sufficient if you're planning to create an entire course or series of activities on ThingLink. And then also, just so you know, keep in mind that the free plan may be limited to a set trial period. And after this, you may need to upgrade if you want to continue using all of the features. So, in fact, I started out using a free plan, and then I have a certain number of days before I need to upgrade. And then ThingLink occasionally changes these terms, so it's a good idea to check their current policy. The free plan offers enough features to get you started with creating interactive content and sharing it with students, but it does come with limitations. So if you find ThingLink valuable, you might eventually consider upgrading to access additional features and storage. So that takes us to the ThingLink's paid plans. So for those who want more functionality than the free plan provides, the paid options come with a range of features that can really enhance the classroom experience. With the paid plan, you'll have access to increased storage, which is great if you want to plan to create and store multiple interactive projects. Paid plans also come with privacy settings that allow you to control who can see your content, which is an important feature for maintaining student privacy. And then in addition, paid plans allow deeper integration with learning management systems like LMSs like Canvas, which can make it easier to embed and manage ThingLink content within your existing educational platforms. So let's break down the two main types of paid plans. We have the ThingLink Teacher Plan, which is designed for individual educators who need more storage and the ability to create a greater number of projects. The teacher plan includes access to custom icons, which allows you to brand your interactive content or align it with specific themes. It also provides more detailed analytics, which they call statistics on ThingLink, giving insights into how students are interacting with your content. And then you have the school or district plans. So that's intended more for administrators and educational organizations. These plans provide centralized control and support for collaboration across multiple teachers or classrooms. They also include robust features like LMS integration, so ThingLink can work seamlessly with your school's learning platform like Canvas. You'll also get detailed analytics or statistics to track engagement across classes, as well as access to control settings that keep content private within classes or programs. So if you're thinking of using ThingLink as an individual educator, the teacher plan is probably all that you need. But if you're considering ThingLink for an entire school or district, the school or district plan offers the necessary features for collaboration, control, and integration on a larger scale. So let's take a look at some example thing links. I'm going to show some off here. These examples are available for anyone to interact with in the ThingLink Learning or Information Center, and it's going to give us an idea of how ThingLinks can be used in different subjects and lessons. So let me take you there to their website to show you the examples. Okay, here we are. So this is the Information Center, and I'm going to be coming back to some of these features later in the presentation. But down here towards the middle, we have some examples that we can interact with. So remember the examples here are not geared towards adult education. They're just examples of ThingLink. But you can still get an idea of the different types of hotspots and options that we can use in a ThingLink lesson. So I'm just going to make this one bigger so we can see it. This is Coca-Cola Europe. So this is a map that Coca-Cola Europe used to show the contributions partners made during the pandemic. So if we click on the different hotspots, we can see images and text describing what the different partners were able to do, how they were able to help during the pandemic. And just showing you here, we have some pictures and text. And on the right-hand side, this is the immersive reader. I love this feature because this is really helpful for adult education. It can be useful for a student who's still learning English or one that needs help with the vocabulary or that's an auditory learner. So I'm just going to click on that to just show you what it looks like. And it's going to open up that text. And I'm just going to briefly play it so you can hear it.
The Netherlands. Providing various food banks.
So it's going to play the text, and the student is then able to listen to it in addition to being able to read the text. So that's one example. And then another example here for infographics. This one here is a Surgical Information Systems that creates an infographic about their products. So you can use any infographic in many subjects and break down the infographic with hotspots. So here we can see that all the hotspots here, these are all videos. So they were able to do this by getting an embed code from the video, such as YouTube, and then they're able to embed it into their ThingLink. And I'll be showing you how to do that later in the presentation. So these examples, although they aren't specifically for adult education type lessons, they show how ThingLink's features can enhance learning. So the Coca-Cola map, right, that demonstrated how you can use text, images, and an interactive reader to make content accessible, while the infographic highlights how video hotspots can simplify complex visuals. And both showcase tools that you can adapt for adult education lessons. Okay, I'm going to take us back over to our PowerPoint here. Great. So the next couple of slides are going to be more specific ideas on how you can use ThingLink in an adult education setting. So on this slide, we see several examples of how ThingLink can be applied in adult basic education, or ABE, to build foundational skills in subjects like math, literacy, and digital literacy. So, for example, math word problems. We can use visual cues to make math more relatable. So, for instance, by uploading images of everyday items like a shopping cart or a receipt, we can add hotspots with math word problems that students can solve based on what they see. So, for example, we might have a picture of a receipt, and there could be a hotspot or a tag that asks if each item costs $3.50, what is the total cost for 4 items? So they're doing math, but also being able to relate it to a real life context like shopping. Interactive reading comprehension. So here we can use ThingLink to make reading comprehension more engaging. We can start with an image of a short text. Remember, we have to keep in mind how much we can see visually. So it would need to be a short text. But by embedding vocabulary explanations, comprehension questions, links to resources directly into that short text, students can interact with the content in a way that strengthens their understanding and retention. And then digital literacy. ThinkLink can offer a creative way to teach essential skills like internet navigation, email usage. You can have a picture of a computer screen graphic, and we can embed videos and practice exercises to guide students step by step through the basics. And then for GED preparation, again, this is just ABE and GED, but I'm going to show you an ESOL lesson we can do. So on this slide, we're looking at how ThingLink can be used for GED preparation to enhance content delivery and improve students' readiness for the test. So, like science and social studies review, we can use this tool to create timelines, diagrams. You could have a timeline of significant events in US history and add hotspots with key dates, definitions, even quiz questions. So, for example, let's say we had a timeline of the US involvement in World War II. And in that timeline, we could embed a video about Pearl Harbor, or we could have a little quizzes embedded in there about the impacts of the United States joining the war and so on. So it makes reviewing for these topics more interactive and reinforces some of the important concepts they might need to know for the GED social studies. Essay writing might seem like a strange thing to use ThingLink for, but you can also use it for GED writing tasks. So you could upload a portion of an essay template with step-by-step instructions in each hotspot, along with examples of effective responses. So for an activity, students can review these sample responses, again, keeping in mind the size and viewability, you got to make sure that's accessible, and follow an embedded checklist to assess their own work. So this will help them understand the criteria for a well-structured essay, but in a more interactive format. And then, of course, you can always do GED practice tests with instant feedback. So another application, you might be able to use quizzes with ThingLink, where students receive hints or explanations based on the answers they choose. And I'm going to show you how to set up multiple choice questions in a ThingLink. This feature can give them immediate feedback and help them to better understand the reasoning behind correct answers. So it's not, it's not as high stakes or high pressure. It's a way for them to be able to practice. So these features make GED prep a little more engaging and can boost students' confidence by allowing them to practice in a structured but interactive way. So here are some best practices before I get more into showing you the website. Here are some best practices to get the most out of ThingLink in adult education settings. So first, you want to start small by introducing just one activity per unit. This helps avoid overwhelming students, and it also gives you time to build your own comfort with the tool. It takes a little time to get comfortable with ThingLink, so start small. Make sure you test accessibility before you release it to the students, making sure that all the media you include it works, the links work, everything's good, and the students are able to see and view it. This ensures that it's an inclusive learning environment. And then engaging students, encouraging students to create their own ThingLink projects as a way to demonstrate what they've learned is a great way for the students not just to demonstrate what they've learned, but to really reinforce the content along the way, because we all know that we all learn best when we're teaching. Monitor your engagement by using ThingLink's built-in analytics, which is called statistics in ThingLink. You can see what students are interacting with, not necessarily on an individual student basis, but you can see what parts of your ThingLink is getting the most action and the least action. And if there's something that let's just say has no interaction, it's possible that either it was confusing to the students or that hotspot didn't work. Something needs to be changed. So it's recommended that you take advantage of those statistics. And then gather feedback regularly. Ask students for their feedback. Of course, this can help you refine and enhance future activities. So we're going to be trying this out. You can follow along with me, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to create a ThingLink as well as hotspots. So we're going to base our ThingLink on this lesson here on this slide, the job application process. We know that we want students to be more familiar with filling out job applications, creating a resume, preparing for a job interview, and we're going to have them interact with some practice interview questions and a job application. And we also want a short quiz to be embedded in the ThingLink to assess comprehension. So bear with me for just one moment while I navigate back over to our ThingLink page. Okay, here we are. So on this is our home page. On our home page of media of ThingLink, we want to go to media, and you will see my pre-existing projects, some of which I've created and some of which I've borrowed from the library. That's a feature down here at the bottom of the 360 library. So I'm going to be coming back to some of these in a moment. But so that you know the whole experience of creating a new one, I'm going to click on the Create button over here in the upper right corner. And then I'm going to choose what type of ThingLink content I'm going to start with. We have many options here. So we can do an image, a 360-degree image, a video, and so forth. I'm going to be creating a 360-degree image. Now, if I'm really techie, which I'm not quite there myself, but if you're really techie, you can upload or drag and drop a file of your own 360-degree image that you have. You can do it from your device or from Google or Microsoft Drives. But I'm, again, not quite that techie. So I am going to go ahead and go to the 360-degree library. I know that the image that I want to use is in the category of public spaces, but these are all the many different categories you can choose from the pre-existing library. But I'm going to go to public spaces. And then now I'm going to choose office space. There's my office space. And this is going to be my background to help students think about the process of applying for a job. So you see it's kind of moving by itself. And it's a 360 image, and I like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and click on continue. So now we're kind of in edit mode. And so from here, I can drag and move the room around because it's a 360-degree image. And once I am where I want to start adding hotspots, I will click on add tag. So these are all the different types of hotspots or tags I can choose from. Text and media is a great way to provide a visual as well as a text explanation. So it's going to look kind of like this little box here. You're going to have a picture or media, and you're going to have a text explanation on the side. Text label is just that. It's a very simple but easy way to identify things, maybe vocabulary words for ESOL students. I'm going to come back to the embed tag, but if you have an embed code from a site like YouTube, quizzes, Google Maps, anything like that, that can be a great way to really amp up your hotspots and make them more interactive. Transit is a way that you can move your students to another scene. I'm not going to go into too much explanation for this one, but you can really get into creating multiple scenes in ThingLink with a transit hotspot. And then there is the question tag where you can create multiple choices for students, and it will tell them whether they got it correct or incorrect, along with any explanation that you created. And then finally, there's the poll option. So for right now, I'm going to go back to my pre-created office scene to show you some of the tags and hotspots that I've already created for my lesson. So I'm going to click Done to get out of here, and then X to get out of my editing. And then here is my main scene that I've been working on before this webinar. So here we are, my main scene that I've already created. And as it scrolls around, you can see I have multiple hotspots. They're flashing for you. And they all look kind of different. And I can kind of click and drag around the room to show you some of the options that I've set up. So let's start with this black film hotspot. I'm going to click on that. When I open it up, you can see that I have a video that I created about how to create a resume. So this is something that I created in Canvas Studio, but you can do something very similar. And the way I set up this particular tag is I'm going to show you, in fact, is I went ahead and added a tag. So let me go to edit mode. I added a tag. There we are. And I'm going to click on embed. So you can see that it's going to ask me, it's probably hard for you to see actually, but it's going to ask me for an embed code. So again, I was using Canvas Studio, and Canvas Studio gives me an embed code as one of my share options. So I copied that and I pasted it in here, and I happen to have it handy, so I'm going to demonstrate that. So I copied my embed code, and now I'm pasting it in here. And as soon as I do that, you can see that it creates my thumbnail. So now I know what it's going to look like for my students. And I can also play it. It's my voice, so it's probably going to sound like I'm still talking, but this is just a portion of the video.
So, keeping in mind what you've learned about resumes,
Okay, and so forth. And so when I'm happy with this, I can also change the icon, and I can change it to a little video here. And when I'm happy with this, then I'm going ahead and click done. And voila, there is my hotspot that I just created. So I can also move my tag or hotspot to a different location. So if I wanted to go somewhere else, I just drag and drop it where I want it. And there it is. So I'm going to show you a couple other embed features, just because I think those are the neatest ones. This nice little happy face here is a Padlet with an embed code. So I got the code from a Padlet that I've already created. And then you can see here that I've already pasted the embed code in here. And then you're already seeing what it's going to look like to the student. This is the preview. So the student can start interacting with the Padlet without ever leaving your ThingLink. They just press this little button, right, to edit or to add, and they can start responding to the question. So in this case, the question was, what makes you most nervous in an interview? Do you have a tip or strategy to help someone else and what makes them nervous? So they can go ahead and post their responses and reply to other people without leaving that ThingLink. So it's a great way to make your ThingLink not just interactive with the media, but interactive with the rest of the class. Okay, so one more embed code. Scroll over this way. This little graduation cap icon is from Quizzes. And this is not a great quizzes, so try not to judge. I've created this pretty quickly, but I just wanted to show you how it works. Again, I'm going to have a pre-created quizzes, and then I'm able to get an embed code from my pre-created quizzes, and then I paste it in here, and then I can see what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to show just a portion of it. You won't be able to hear me for just a moment, but just so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see that again, it was not a very great quizzes, but you can see what it looks like to a student. And it was even telling me to slow down because I was obviously just choosing random answers. So this is a great way to have the students do a little practicing without the pressure of a real test. It gives you just kind of a general idea of how you might be able to use it in your class. So let's move on to some simpler hotspots over here on the other side of my image. And then let's click on this green plus button. So this one is just a simplistic question and answer situation. I'm going to choose the best option. So this, tell us about a time that you had an upset or a challenging customer. How did you handle the situation? So I'm going to choose the correct answer, and it's going to tell me, yes, you're correct. And if I were a student, I chose the wrong one, then it's going to tell me try again. And I set this up, I can make this much better, but over here on the left-hand side, I had to put my question in here. I put my answer choices, and then I'm able to customize a correct answer message and a wrong answer message. So this is another way that you can set up test practice for your students in a low pressure situation, and they're able to check their work as they go. So you can also see here from this little, this you probably can't see this, but this little tiny note down here says that the responses are not being saved by ThingLink. So I can look into a more advanced option of ThingLink Scenario Builder if I want to really get into it, which I'll just kind of reference later. So this is just the basics of how to create a ThingLink lesson. From our previous examples that we interacted with, we know there are many possibilities for how to make it really interactive. And if we go back to the home page, so let me go back to the home page here. I'm just going to show you that there's another option, which is the scenarios. So over here on the left-hand side below media, there's something called scenarios. And again, I'm not going to get into this too much, but you can see one that I just started. It's very different from the previous lesson, but there's a start point that students can start with, and then you can navigate through the lesson. So you can see it's kind of in timeline form here. And if I click preview, you can see what it looks like from a student perspective. So I'm going to kind of navigate through this lesson, pretending that I'm a student. And you can see that you can really get into creating multiple scenes, multiple hotspots to hit on particular parts of a lesson. So if you can master the basics of a ThingLink scene, you can move on to scenario building. I'm going to exit for now by just clicking out of this tab. Um, and then I'm going to click X to go back to my main page here. Whoops. Okay, and then yes, this webinar is being recorded. So don't worry, I know you're not going to remember everything that's in here. It's being recorded. And I'm also going to show you how to learn more about ThingLink on your own time as well. So I wanted to point out timely question, this information button, as that will be one of the last things that we talk about in today's webinar. So here, ThingLink offers several resources to help you get started and make the most of its features. It provides access to tutorials. So these are some tutorials. There's a ThingLink certified creator course, ready to use templates, because we all need a little help. And these were the live examples that we looked at earlier. And then these tools can really help you quickly build confidence and creativity with ThingLink. So let's quickly take a look at this tutorial up here at the top. We're going to click on Watch Tutorial. I'm only going to play just a few seconds of this because you're not going to be able to hear me while it's playing, but just so you can get an idea of what it will look like. So not only is this being recorded and will be on the IPDAY website, but you also can go to the ThingLink information page and listen to their tutorial as well. So let's just watch just a second or two of this to get an idea of what it sounds like.
Use the email address that you use to sign up for ThingLink and your password or folders that have been shared with you or you've created, and you can hide those to make your interface look less busy.
Okay, so obviously this is going to go in a lot more depth. It's about 14 minutes long. But if after this webinar you watch the recording and then you would still like to do more review, you can just head over to the ThingLink tutorial and get a step-by-step on creating one of your own ThingLinks from scratch. And then if you want to add to your digital technology portfolio, why not? You can check out their certified creator course. And there are several modules here that can take you from a beginner to an advanced user and creator. So it's at your own pace, and it's just another way that you can add another certification and learn more about ThingLink. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to my PowerPoint here. Just one moment. All right. So again, this is just kind of a summary of what I just showed you on the Information Center. So, to wrap up, ThingLink is a versatile tool that empowers adult education by making learning more interactive and engaging. With intentional planning, educators can use it to address student needs, align with workforce objectives, and create a more dynamic classroom environment. If you have any last questions before we start to navigate to the end here, feel free to put them in the Q&A. But I'm also going to put my information back in the chat here so that you can contact me if you have any further questions after the end of this webinar. Okay, and while we're waiting for any questions to come up, I just want to show you some last additional resources for you to refer to. ThingLink is going to have pretty much everything you need. And you saw me navigate to the Information Center. If you're interested in other ways of engaging your learners, definitely monitor the IPDAY website for upcoming Tech Tuesdays and also our Wednesday webinars as well. Okay, I don't see any further questions, so feel free to email me with any additional things. And before we leave today, please take a moment to complete the IPDAY survey. If you found today's webinar helpful, we're also going to have another webinar tomorrow, November 20th at 3 p.m. And that webinar is going to be Elevate Your Impact, Mastering NRS Updates and Maximizing Measurable Skill Gains. Thank you all so much for connecting today. We hope that this was helpful. I know it's a lot of information, but I hope that the little bit of time that we had together was helpful in getting you started and an actionable way to ensure success within your programs and your students. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.